fam, welcome back. Let's talk exports. There are two dates that you need to be aware of, and that is your ERD and your cut date. Let's go. Okay, so exports, shipments going out of the country versus imports, which are shipments coming into the country. So a basic export is where you pick up an empty container, get it loaded at the shipper, and then you're taking it back to the port or to the rail so that it can be shipped out of the country. All export shipments start with a booking confirmation. The booking confirmation is simply a reservation from the ship line that allows you to go and pick up one of their empty containers. So the two dates that you want to be aware of is the ERD, which is the early return date, and the LRD, which is the last return date, better known as the cut date. So you've got the earliest day that you can bring your container in, and you've got the last day that you can bring your container in. And these dates are set up by the ship line and the vessel schedules, the vessels that are carrying those containers. So vessels are scheduled to arrive at the port on specific dates, and they're scheduled to leave the port on specific dates. So your ERD and cut dates are based on vessel schedules. But we all know that vessel schedules can change. There could be bad weather and the vessel is taken off its schedule. There could be too many ships at the port and the vessel's not able to dock on time. Or the vessel could hit a bridge and not be able to keep its schedule. So checking your ERD and your cut date is imperative. You need to check it, if not every day, very often, because they do change. Why is the ERD so important? Well, remember the ERD is the earliest day that the port will receive a container on your booking. So if you go get your empty container, go get it loaded, you won't be able to in-gate that container until the ERD. So if you get it too early and you're not able to in-gate the container, you're going to have to sit on that loaded container until the ERD date. Sometimes that's going to cost you additional days of chassis fees, right? Because you can't in-gate the container, you can't unload that container from your chassis. So be mindful of the ERD date because it can cost you additional chassis charges. Okay, the cut date. So to me, the cut date is more important than the ERD because if you remember, the cut date is the last day that you can bring a container into the port on your booking. So if you realize that you've gotten your container loaded and then you have missed your cut date, your vessel has left the port. Vessels have schedules to arrive at the port and they have a schedule to leave the port. So if you missed your cut date, it's not the end of the world, but your container will now have to be reassigned to another vessel. Sometimes that can take a week, sometimes that can take 2 weeks. So while you're waiting for this new vessel assignment, you're incurring additional charges, right? So your container is on a chassis. You'll continue to pay chassis fees every day. And then you'll also have to pay what's called per diem. And per diem is charged by the ship line for having their container out too long. Each ship line has their own set number of days of how long you can have that container out of the port. Don't miss the cut date. Cut date is more important than the ERD. Make sure you have both dates in mind so that you can execute your shipment within your ERD and your LRD or your cut dates. If you have any questions, and I'm sure you do, you can leave them in the comments below. Please be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.